Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another Suhoor Bite. Today I have an absolute treat. We have Tamoor Hussain here, managing editor at GameSpot. Thank you so much for being here. So glad to have you here.
Assalamu alaikum, Rami. My pleasure. I'm glad to be here. I've been listening to the Suhoor Bites, and it's a little treat for me every morning.
It's this is how I feel about your Twitter frequently.
Thank you very much.
It's always lovely. Tamoor, right?
Yes,
Did I pronounce that right?
my name is that. Yes, better than most people. So the story of my name is quite interesting. We were talking about this earlier, and I say my name wrong most of the time. I think a lot of people will probably a lot of people from our background will probably feel the same way. They say their name the way other people need to hear it, as opposed to the way it actually is said. And I said that for most of my lifetime, Tamor, Tamor,
Mhm.
and these days I shorten it to Tam to make it easier for more people. Um, and that's how I said it growing up. My family is Pakistani. I was
Mhm.
born in Pakistan, and then or Pakistan, since I can say it normally, Pakistan. So I was born in Pakistan, and then I moved to London when I was very young. And so my family, the way my mom and dad say it is Damur, which is much better than the original. And then so I started attending madrasa when I was young, and my grandfather, he specifically picked a madrasa that had a very specific type of uh, Muslim in it, which was like a Pakistani from the Brelwi background. So it was his kind of Islam,
Right,
which is
right.
a very specific. There's elements of it that I question still in a lot of ways. So he did that, but unfortunately for him, I very quickly graduated to another ustad, another teacher, and this person was reverted Hindu. So one of the greatest influences in my lifetime, Malana Ilyas, he's sadly passed away a long time ago. But I remember one of the first lessons that I went to him. He was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Tamor." And he was like, he looked at me with just the utter disdain, and he was like, "What?" He was like, "What did you say?" And I was like, "Tamor." And he was like, "Do you not know how to say your own
Your
name?"
own name.
And I was like, that's how I say it. He's like, your name is of Persian origin. Your name is Taimur.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, thank you for that, but I won't be saying it like that to
Yeah, that
randoms in public.
that would not go well.
Yeah,
That's like try saying that to somebody at TSA.
yeah,
That'll go really
exactly.
well.
Exactly. But like,
Mr. Tamoor.
no,
Tamoor?
no, it's
No, it's
Taimur.
Tamoor. Ah, yes, sir. Can you please stand in the left queue, please?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of like, and that's where I learned to say my name properly. And he
Mhm.
was pretty much the only one that said it properly in
Right.
my entire lifetime. So whenever I hear it said like that now, which is incredibly rare, it just reminds me of him.
Right, I can imagine. Yeah,
Yeah.
my name is relatively straightforward, and Rami is just Rami.
Mm.
The last name Ismail, like the way I've always been taught to pronounce it has like in English it's like Ismail.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm in the postal, like you ship me. But
It's male.
yeah, that's literally what
Yeah.
happens, and then it's really useful when you need to explain it though. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, just
Yeah.
write like I'm in the like in post. And they're like Ismail. It's like yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally it's more of an Ismail, but there's an in that, so I've just given up. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's useless. But I've always been sort of I like how many accents Arabic has,
Mhm.
or like the
Mm.
entire region, just like the Arabic scripts,
Mm.
just letters appear
Yeah,
in
it
different
is.
places.
That was like the one of the first things that I truly appreciated about being in madrasa, which was like I studying under my grandfather. I learned to read the Quran and recite, and then studying under my Ustad Maulana Ilyas, I learned to read and pronounce. And it was like going from speaking one language to another, and it was just eye opening because we spent much like months and months learning proper tajweed, which was like,
Right.
and that was like you need to put your tongue in this place and that place, and the difference now I have is like there's this dichotomy because my family is from my grandfather's like tutelage, a very specific. So they go to specific masjids that are in line with their type of Islam.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm there, and this is gonna sound real mean, but whenever they recite out loud, I'm just like, it's like listening to a bad singer versus a good singer.
Right.
Because then I'll go to like a masjid that's like primarily like uh, Gujarati or Arabic and Egyptian, Persian, and
Right.
it just sounds beautiful. And you're like, this is how it's meant to be recited. And I feel real bad doing that, but I'm like, "Ah, you guys don't even know."
it's
But yeah, so learning to
it's
say
really
those
strange.
words is wild.
Yeah, I in the Netherlands, the primary Muslim populations are Moroccan and Turkish,
Mm,
which are both very distinct accents,
mm,
dialects to Arabic. So for me, it was also going to Egypt was like, okay, this is what it's supposed to sound like, and then I'd be in the mosque in the Netherlands, and it'd be like a lot of very harsh sounds. And I'd be like,
mm.
sounds
Yeah,
different from
yeah.
what I was taught. The whole language thing is just fascinating to me,
Mm.
honestly, and the sort of the language of the Quran being Arabic, and then people speaking Arabic in prayer, but not actually knowing the exact words they're saying. They know what the surah is,
Yeah,
but they don't know what they're saying.
yeah.
I've
That
always found that fascinating.
Yeah, that's the same. Like with whenever like I tell people, yeah, I can recite Arabic, and they're like, oh, so you must know what it all means. And I'm like, absolutely not. I have no clue. Like I can recite all this stuff. I can read it off the page, but I cannot tell you what any of it means.
Right? Yeah.
I think it's one of the things that is most like impressive to people who are non-Muslim as well. Like when you, a lot of times I've been like, just listen to this to like people that I know that are like non-Muslim, and they sound almost universally. They're like, that is beautiful. That sounds beautiful. I'm like, yeah, that's just standard recitation of the
Right.
Quran,
Yeah.
and like as an entry point into learning about the religion, just hearing recitation goes a really, really long way. There's a melody and a
Sure.
beautiful tajweed to it that is, even if you don't understand what's being said, it just sounds really warm and inviting.
Right.
Um,
Does that also make you sad for how how often they just butcher then in like popular media where you're
yep,
like
yep,
the opening shot of like some scene with some sandy village and like gun sounds in the background,
yeah,
and then there's just somebody like wailing in the background instead of actually doing it then. It's like, no, if you picked it then,
yeah.
this
Yeah.
would have been beautiful. This
There
would have
was
been gorgeous.
like there was a controversy a few years back where a piece of like the Quran, a small amount of it was included in a song. It was for Little Big Planet. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
There was a song, but like the actual song, I remember listening to it, and it was when he sang or spoke or recited the line, I was like, "This is beautiful." Like he's
Yeah.
doing it really well, but obviously the controversy just drowned it, and I was like, "That's
Right.
such a shame," because I don't know if I describe and how I describe myself as a Muslim, but I like heard that and I was like, "I'm not offended by this at all." Like
No,
I was absolutely fine with it, and I think it is like such a great way to take something that is close to us and invite more people to think about it,
I agree.
but they removed it from the game, which was such a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, it really
Um,
was.
yeah,
Um, Tamur, thanks so much. Or Taimur,
thank you.
thank you so much for being here and for making some time to hang out with us here in
Of
this
course.
early suhoor. If people want to find you, they can find you on Twitter, I think.
Yep. Um,
Tamoorh.
yep.
Anywhere else?
That's me. I mean, I'm around. You can figure it out from there. Like, I'm on Twitch. I'm on various places. But yeah,
All the places.
all the
Good.
places. But yeah,
Thanks so much.
thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Salam.
Alaikum salam.